amateurs. They've spent time in camp together. He's been around Tank. He's seen Tank up close and personal, whether he's in the ring with him or not. That matters.
Lamont Roach is no slouch in the ring. He's technically sound and definitely has the skill to compete at the championship level. However, if we're being honest, Tank Davis is an entirely different beast. Boxing isn't just about raw talent, it's about presence, personality, and that wow factor that makes people take notice.
DC and Baltimore don't fuck with each other.
Yeah, they don't. One thing about it, the city going.
Roach might have the skills, but does he bring the explosive energy or magnetic personality that makes fans stop and say, "This is a must-watch"? Not quite, and this is something most boxing professionals are also noticing. Tank Davis is already a pay-per-view powerhouse. Whether fans love it or not, his fights draw attention. Some argue that not all of his matchups deserve that kind of spotlight, but Tank is built for big stages. The real challenge now is finding opponents who match his star power. Roach is talented, no doubt, but he hasn't yet reached the top tier. His sole WBA title defense against Johnny Gonzalez was solid, but it didn't turn heads. If Roach had a string of title defenses or a history of dominating performances, this fight would make more sense. Instead, it feels like Tank is stepping down to face him.
I don't know Lamont Roach, but, when you look at Shakur Stevenson, when you're looking at, these other fights that he should really be fighting, he don't want to do them fights. He wants to retire. Yeah. So don't come.
This isn't Tank's first time facing a less than exciting opponent. Remember Hector Luis Garcia? He was solid but didn't scream pay-per-view event. Garcia even managed to push Roach to a split decision after being stopped by Tank. That shows the level of competition we're talking about. The pay-per-view model today often focuses more on the name than the quality of the fight, and Tank's name alone carries weight. Still, it's hard to ignore that when the opponent doesn't match the hype, fans feel a bit disappointed.
Baltimore guys don't like each other, you know what I mean? So, it was a DC guy that I got into it with.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So one of the older guys named Dana, he basically.
Let's talk about size. Roach isn't the biggest super featherweight, and Tank is a powerhouse lightweight. The physical difference is obvious, and when you're facing someone like Tank, strong and smart, every little disadvantage becomes more glaring. Tank knows how to exploit weaknesses and control the pace, especially in the later rounds. If Roach somehow pulls off a win, it would be the upset of the year, maybe even the decade. While upsets make for great stories, they don't necessarily justify a pay-per-view price.
Actually took this fight for the naysayers and all the people talking shit about the fight. I think he actually took the fight because he know that I'm a dog. And, he won.
Compare this with fights like William Zepeda versus Tevin Farmer, where Zepeda is climbing the ranks, testing himself against a crafty former world champion like Farmer. That's how you build a career and prove you're ready for the likes of Tank or Shakur Stevenson. Though Farmer is past his prime, he still presents a challenge. This is the kind of progression we should expect, not a leap to the top. As for Stevenson, his fight with Joe Cordina felt like a placeholder, something to tolerate while waiting for the big fight. If Tank and Stevenson were already set to clash, a fight with Roach would feel like a warm-up, but since Tank versus Stevenson isn't happening anytime soon, this fight feels more like a distraction than a stepping stone.
Yeah, but again, they pick and choose, so it is what it is. But again, the media like to hate him too, so I'm gonna catch a lot of that backlash too. But it is. I ain't really stunned that much. I'm not worried about narrative. I'm worried about what I feel in the ring. All right, brother.
Tank's confidence is through the roof, and rightfully so. He's faced top talent and come out on top. Roach, on the other hand, has heart and technical skills, but this is not his weight class, and it's not his moment. Hitchens, who's sparred with both fighters, praised Roach's technical abilities and resilience after his loss to Jamal Herring, calling this matchup a potential masterclass. But let's be real, Tank's defensive genius and fight IQ are on another level. Hitchens even hinted that Roach's best shot is to go for an early finish, but against someone like Tank, that's easier said than done. Sims Jr., another fighter with inside knowledge, pointed out that both Tank and Roach are counterpunchers. For either of them to control the fight, one would have to step outside their comfort zone. Tank is known as a slow starter, which gives Roach a brief window to capitalize. But once Tank finds his rhythm, it's usually game over. Roach might start strong, but keeping up with Tank's power and precision as the fight goes on? That's a whole different story. What makes Tank truly stand out is his ability to adapt. He can read his opponent, bide his time, and then explode when the moment is right. Roach has speed and technical ability, but Tank's timing and ring IQ are weapons few can handle. Hitchens acknowledged Tank's ability to maneuver and protect himself, making it nearly impossible to land clean shots. Roach, on the other hand, has shown vulnerability against power punches, something that spells trouble when facing a knockout artist like Tank.
By that logic, if Tank Davis is weight bullying Lamont Roach because he pulls Lamont Roach up to 135 pounds, isn't every single fighter that's asking Tank Davis to fight at 140 pounds, aren't they trying to weight bully him too?
Sims also suggested that Roach will need to take risks to make the fight competitive, but how do you take risks when your opponent punishes every mistake so brutally? Tank has proven himself to be one of the most electrifying fighters in boxing, with unmatched power and precision. At 30 years old, the reigning WBA lightweight champion has captivated fans with his ability to finish fights quickly. His 8th-round knockout of Frank Martin in June 2024 is just the latest testament to his dominance. As fans eagerly await his next fight, Davis is set to face Lamont Roach on March 1, 2025, at the Barclays Center in New York.
Why was it so easy when he fought Frank Martin?
Frank Martin was inexperienced and nervous. You know, it is what it is. It's going to be a different fight when I'm in there. He's going to be a different fighter when he's fighting me.
What's your game plan?
Whoop his ass. I'm always looking for a knockout. No matter what, I'm always prepared for 12 rounds. But I'm always looking for a knockout, and if I get the chance, I'm going to try to knock his head off.
Calvin Ford, Tank's longtime coach, has a clear vision for his fighter's legacy. In a conversation with Stephen A. Smith, Ford declared that the only person capable of beating Davis is Davis himself. Tank against Tank, that's the only one who can beat him, Ford said. There's a reason why Tank is where he is. I'm just the voice in his head that knows how to push the right buttons, and we still haven't seen his greatness yet. Ford also took aim at Shakur Stevenson, who many see as Tank's ultimate rival. He argued that while people praise Stevenson's boxing skills, Tank's speed and power are unmatched. Ford believes Tank's presence under the lights is on another level.
Christmas wish list, 3 names that you want 2025.
I want Shaq.
Who?
Ford's words only fuel the ongoing speculation about a potential mega fight between Tank and Stevenson. Fans are eagerly awaiting a showdown that could define this era of boxing. Lamont Roach, though, is no stranger to the pressures of championship boxing. The 29-year-old from Washington boasts a record of 25-1-1 with 10 knockouts. His only loss came in 2019 against Jamal Herring, but he's been on a 6-fight winning streak since then, including a notable win over Hector Luis Garcia to claim the WBA junior lightweight title.
I'm not looking at Lamont the way that everybody else look at Lamont. Like, I know Lamont is a really good fighter. I'm not. This ain't no Frank Martin. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
It's a real good fight.
Roach has proven himself in the ring, but Davis's knockout power makes him the clear favorite. Still, former WBC welterweight champion Sean Porter believes Roach's familiarity with Tank could level the playing field. Roach knows Tank as well as anybody, Porter said. They've spent time together in camp, and has seen Tank up close and personal. That matters. Porter emphasized that Roach's experience could give him an edge in predicting Tank's speed and power.
Just overall being something that he's not been in the ring with. I'm the total package, and honestly, sometimes I think he doubted himself. But I'm a competitor, and I feel like I'm the best. So I'm assured.
When he talks about you not bringing your family, what goes through your mind?
Porter added that if Roach can take Davis's punches and not crumble, we could be in for an exciting fight. He's tasted Tank's power before, and if he doesn't go away, we've got a real fight on our hands. Initially scheduled for December 14, 2024, the fight was postponed due to Tank prioritizing time with his newborn son. Fans were frustrated, but the new date of March 1, 2025, promises an exciting start to the boxing calendar.
We fought twice in the same tournament. So, we fought in the Junior Olympics, in the regionals, and we fought in the nationals.
Roach has stayed active and successful in the meantime, most recently stopping Fergal McCroy in 8 rounds. As a junior lightweight champion, Roach has shown skill and resilience, qualities he'll need against a fighter like Davis. Promoter Eddie Hearn defended the fight choice, acknowledging mixed reactions from fans. "Everybody hates the fight, but Lamont Roach is a good fighter," Hearn said. "The issue is, no one knows who he is. With Tank's position in the sport, people want him in bigger fights."
What do you think of the announcement of the Gervonta Davis Roach fight?
I think that, he's had a lot of criticism, but it's not a bad fight. Lamont Roach is a world champion. He's smaller than Gervonta Davis. The problem is not many people are aware of who he is or his abilities. But he can fight. I don't think it's a huge fight, but not a terrible.
Hearn pointed out that Tank didn't have many other options for opponents. Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney were unavailable due to injuries and other commitments. What were the options really? Hearn asked. Shakur was injured. "If you know boxing, you know this is a good fight, but Roach is much smaller than Tank."
Here's my take on the fight. Everything is true about this situation. One, Gervonta Tank Davis was being ducked leading up to this.
Hearn's comments touch on the ongoing debate about Tank's career trajectory. While some criticize his choice of opponents, others recognize the difficulty in securing high-profile fights in such a competitive division. Roach, however, has made bold claims ahead of his March 1st fight, stating that the contract includes a rematch clause. Despite the online mockery, Roach remains confident he'll defeat Tank in their first encounter and is already planning for a potential rematch and a move up to 140 pounds to challenge for the light welterweight title.
It's gonna be a party
and
on your floor.
I'm gonna let y'all know something. His father was up here shaking on the what's name. He was shaking on the.
Thank everybody that played a part in it. My team, Roberto Diaz, Gary Jonas.
On my kids, he was shaking on this thing. On my kids, he was shaking. How you gonna say it's cat? It gotta be gonna say it's cat. I'm watching them.
Fans have mocked Roach's bold statements online, seeing him as an easy target for Tank. At 29 years old, Roach is the underdog, but is not backing down from the challenge. "I don't care about being the underdog," Roach said. "I'm going to win." His confidence is clear, but whether it's enough to. Lamont Roach, a competitor in the super featherweight division, is largely being viewed as an easy target for Tank Davis, who has earned a reputation for selecting opponents that don't pose major threats. Throughout his 11-year career, Tank's management has carefully curated matchups that shield him from potentially dangerous fighters. Roach was picked as Tank's next challenger partly due to his popularity in the East Coast, with the original fight set to take place at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas, to draw fans from Baltimore and Washington, D.C. However, with the fight now rescheduled to March, the regional factor seems less important. Many fans had hoped Tank would face tougher opponents, such as Edwin Dos Santos, Kaysen Davis, Floyd Schofield, Andy Cruz, or William Zappa, who are seen as more formidable. Tank's choice of Roach has led to disappointment among fans, who view it as a mismatch.
When they start talking, when the people who I fight, when they start talking, that's when y'all get dumb. I'm gonna beat his ass.
He can't do shit. Wait,
for
I don't
real.
give a fuck.
The decision to fight Roach has sparked accusations of soft matchmaking for Tank. Critics argue that Tank's management has consistently avoided high-risk opponents, opting instead for easier, more predictable fights. This trend has helped Tank maintain his unbeaten record by fighting foes who don't present significant challenges. Although Roach has a solid record, he is seen as another cherry-picked opponent in Tank's long list of less challenging fights.
This.
Tank has made a bold prediction for his fight against Roach. In a press conference at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, Tank confidently stated that he would finish the fight by the 9th round. "I'm going to chop, bob and weave, and I'm going to end it in the 9th round," Davis said. With a record of 30-0, including 28 knockouts, it's no surprise that Tank would make such an aggressive statement. 4 of his last 5 victories came in the 9th round or earlier, with only one fight going the distance. His confidence is rooted in his impressive track record, and he clearly believes that Roach won't last beyond the 9th round.
I say 9th round.
What?
I say 9th round.
You said 9th?
Yeah.
What's your response to that, Lamont?
Look, he got scared. Look. He looked at night.
I'm telling him, you saying you going down in a night?
However, Roach is unfazed by Tank's bold words. The 29-year-old fighter has remained confident, dismissing the idea that being the underdog matters. "I don't care about being the underdog or the favorite. Either way, I'm going to win," Roach said. He is not backing down from the challenge. While Roach may not possess the knockout power that Tank is known for, he has been steadily improving and believes this is his time to shine. He's won all his fights since 2020, including 3 knockouts and 3 decisions. The real question is whether his confidence will be enough to stop Tank's knockout streak.
Would you consider you and Gervonta friends?
Friends, probably.
Is it going to be hard to go in the ring and fight your friend?
Not at all.
Are you all going to be friends after?
Yeah, why not?
Either way it goes.
Both making money.
But you guys are making each other bleed.
Hopefully I just make him bleed.
As Roach prepares for his fight, Shakur Stevenson, the WBC lightweight champion, has weighed in on the matchup. Stevenson, who has been following both fighters closely, believes Roach is being underestimated. "I'm not looking at Lamont the way everybody else is. I know Lamont is a really good fighter. This ain't no Frank Martin," Stevenson said. His comment suggests that he thinks Roach has the skills to make the fight more competitive than many expect. This is a stark contrast to how many fans are viewing Roach, writing him off as an easy target for Tank.
My whole family is from DC. My whole family, like my entire family.
Don't bring them. Don't bring them.
For what?
Don't bring them. I'm telling you,
they
don't
gonna
bring
celebrate with me. Yeah,
Don't bring them.
It's gonna be a party on your floor.
I'm gonna let y'all know something. His father was up here shaking.
Stevenson's opinion holds weight, as he is also a potential future opponent for Tank. A unification fight between the two champions has been discussed for some time, and many fans are eager to see who would come out on top if they faced each other. Stevenson's endorsement of Roach as a legitimate threat to Tank's undefeated record adds further intrigue to the matchup. If Roach performs competitively against Tank, it could pave the way for high-stakes future matchups in the lightweight division, including a potential showdown with Stevenson. However, Roach is unfazed by Tank's bold words. The 29-year-old fighter has remained confident, dismissing the idea that being the underdog matters. "I don't care about being the underdog or the favorite. Either way, I'm going to win," Roach said. He is not backing down from the challenge. While Roach may not possess the knockout power that Tank is known for, he has been steadily improving and believes this is his time to shine. He's won all his fights since 2020, including 3 knockouts and 3 decisions. The real question is whether his confidence will be enough to stop Tank's knockout streak.
Yeah, man, I mean, it's going to go. Tank going to be losing the first 3 rounds. Then he's going to download the data. Then he going to knock this dude out in round 7 or 8. Then he going to do the backflip. Then Jim Gray's going to get in the ring, or Caleb Plant's wife, and say, "Who do you want next?" And Tank's going to say, "I want all those guys." And they're going to go to the press conference, and Elliot Setback's going to say, "Who do you want next?" He say, "I want all the guys."
Gervonta "Tank" Davis has been making headlines again, but not for the reasons fans were hoping for. Just 20 days after announcing his retirement plans for 2025, Tank shocked everyone by stating that his upcoming fight against Lamont Roach Jr. had been cancelled.
Stay down! Everybody move the back first!
The fight, scheduled for March 1st at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, was supposed to be Tank's first title defense of the year. Despite this sudden setback, Lamont Roach Jr. is not letting anything, including Tank's announcement, stand in the way of the fight.
I'm coming with everything I got, and if you ain't on your A game, if you ain't focused,
Davis had previously shared a clear retirement plan, 3 fights in 2025 before hanging up his gloves for good. The fight against Roach was expected to be a major event, with Tank defending his WBA lightweight title. However, with one simple post, Tank has cast doubt on the fight. Lamont Roach Jr. and his camp, however, are not convinced. Roach himself quickly responded, posting a heated reply on his Instagram story just hours after Tank's announcement. "What the hell are you still asking me? He said that, not me. I'm locked up, and nothing has changed," Roach wrote. He reinforced the fight details, writing March 1st Brooklyn and adding the hashtag #HashAndTheNew. Roach's father and trainer, Lamont Roach Sr., also spoke out, stating, "We haven't heard anything. As far as I'm concerned, the fight is still on." Nothing has changed on our end. His firm statement made it clear that Team Roach is still fully prepared for the fight.
I think he actually took this fight for the naysayers and all this and all the people talking shit about the fight. I think he actually took the fight because he know that I'm a dog, and he want to prove his skills against a dog.
The timing of Tank's announcement was particularly strange. While Tank was posting about the fight being cancelled, Lamont Roach Jr. shared a video of himself shadowboxing in the gym after sparring with welterweight boxer M. Fox. Roach's message was loud and clear, he's focused and ready, regardless of what Tank says. This is not the first time Davis's actions have left fans confused. Davis's recent pattern of cryptic and contradictory messages has only added to the confusion. One moment he's talking about his retirement plans, and the next, he's cancelling fights without giving any explanation. To make matters even more puzzling, tickets for the fight were still available online, and PBC, the event promoter, had not made any official announcements regarding the fight status. It's as if the fight is both on and off at the same time. For Lamont Roach Jr., this fight represents a huge opportunity. As the reigning WBA super featherweight champion, Roach was granted special permission to move up in weight and challenge for a world title in a second weight class. Roach earned his super featherweight title by defeating Hector Luis Garcia via split decision in November 2023 and successfully defended it against Fergal McCroy in June, solidifying his reputation as a tough and skilled fighter. Meanwhile, Tank Davis has been riding high in his career, becoming the full WBA world champion in November 2023 after Devin Haney vacated the belt. Davis's last fight, in June, saw him stop undefeated prospect Frank Martin in the 8th round, defending his title for the first time. Fans were eager to see him back in action against a formidable opponent like Roach.
I say 9th round.
What?
I say 9th round.
You said 9th?
Yeah.
What's your response to that, Lamont?
Look, he got scared. Look. He looked at 9th.
I'm telling you, you saying you going down in a 9th?
Roach's camp isn't letting Tank Davis's Instagram antics distract them. Lamont Roach Sr. has made it clear that their training is continuing as planned, staying focused on the March 1st fight. Lamont Roach Jr. is putting in the work to be in peak condition, and his recent videos of sparring and shadowboxing show that he's not taking any chances, regardless of Davis's online statements. But the big question remains, why would Tank Davis suddenly declare the fight cancelled without any details? Some fans speculate that it could be a mind game to throw Roach off his game, while others wonder if there's a deeper issue, like an injury or something behind the scenes. Davis has a history of unpredictable behavior, but this latest move has raised the stakes. The lack of clarity from Davis's side is frustrating for fans who were excited about the matchup. The Barclays Center in Brooklyn was set to host what could have been one of the most anticipated fights of the year. Now, with Davis's vague announcement, the whole event is shrouded in uncertainty. As things stand, the fight is technically still on. Tickets are still being sold, and there's been no official word from PBC or the WBA about a cancellation. Roach's camp is moving forward as if nothing has changed, but Davis's silence since his Instagram post is unsettling. He hasn't provided any updates or explanations, leaving everyone to speculate about what's really going on. Meanwhile, Lamont Roach Jr. is seizing the moment. His father and trainer's comments show that their camp is united and ready to go. They are not letting Davis's actions shake their confidence. For Roach, this fight represents his chance to make history by becoming a two-division world champion. On the other end, Shakur Stevenson didn't hold back when he gave his opinion on Tank Davis's choice of opponent for his upcoming fight. Stevenson believes Davis made the wrong pick by choosing Lamont Roach Jr., a super featherweight, instead of the number 3 WBA lightweight contender, Edwin de los Santos. Shakur's take is straightforward. De los Santos would have been a far more meaningful and challenging fight for Tank, and the choice of Roach seems to lack the competitive edge that fans and analysts were expecting.
I promise you, you better lead them home. You better lead the females home. On my mother, you better lead the females home and the kids. On my mother. Yeah, now watch this. Now watch.
From Shakur Stevenson's perspective, Tank Davis's decision to bypass Edwin de los Santos in favor of Lamont Roach Jr. could be a strategic move, but not in a way that reflects well on Davis. Shakur hinted that Tank might have chosen Roach because it's an easier fight compared to de los Santos, a hard-hitting lightweight with a record of 16 wins, 14 by knockout, and only 2 losses. By avoiding De Los Santos, Shakur believes Tank is missing an opportunity to solidify his dominance in the lightweight division and might be playing it safe by avoiding a risky opponent who could challenge him. Shakur also sees Tank's decision as potentially a sneaky move. If Tank had chosen De Los Santos and performed poorly, it could elevate Shakur's own status by comparison. After all, Shakur already defeated De Los Santos over a year ago to claim the vacant WBC lightweight title in a fight that went the full 12 rounds. While Shakur won by unanimous decision, the bout was far from easy. De Los Santos pushed Shakur hard, and the fight's narrow margins left some questioning whether the challenger could have won if Shakur hadn't fought so defensively. Shakur's performance in that fight wasn't without controversy, as critics accused him of running and not engaging enough. Shakur, however, attributed his cautious approach to an injury he claimed to be dealing with at the time. Despite this excuse, many critics felt that his typically defensive style might have been a factor, leading to further speculation about the true reasons behind his approach.
David Haney tiene mucho más boxeo que Shakur Stevenson. Y Gervonta ni se diga, tiene más pegada, tiene más boxeo, más completo, como lo digo.
Haney has better boxing skills than Shakur, and with Gervonta Davis, forget about it. He has power, he has everything. He's complete like.
While the fight between Tank and Roach may not be the most anticipated for many boxing fans, it still holds significant weight for Tank. It's an opportunity for him to defend his title and maintain his undefeated record. For Roach, it's a chance to prove he belongs among the sport's elite. Roach's bold claims about winning and securing a rematch are fueling the fire, adding to the anticipation for the fight. Whether Tank lives up to his prediction of ending the fight in the 9th round, or Roach manages to pull off an upset, the outcome of this fight will have a lasting impact on both fighters' careers.